Hey, hey, we're back, and today we're talking about body image. This is one of my favorite topics and has been for a long time. So I wanted to give like a little background, if it's okay, on I don't know where my passion for this subject came from, because people probably think it's pretty weird that I'm so adamant on teaching and sharing people about body image and how to improve their body image. When I was like a teenager, this started when I was really young, okay? So when I was a teenager, I just hated all the pressure to have to look like this and that and have perfect, beautiful, flawless skin and big eyelashes and the colored hair. I didn't start like dyeing my hair consistently till in my like upper 20s. So I hated all the pressure. I mean, I wanted, I guess, all these things, and I wonder if we didn't grow up with a ton of money, so we really couldn't, like, my parents couldn't really afford to get me those things anyways. I always wanted straight teeth, I always wanted braces, but it wasn't happening for me, right? So I hated the pressure, and I remember always wanting to like share the message with other girls, I guess particularly teenager, people my age. I just wanted to be like, look, you don't have to feel so much pressure to look like this perfect person. Like we're all different. We all have different body shapes and different thickness of eyelashes. No joke, guys. I have done everything to try to get my eyelashes to look like they exist. And everyone, people that have given me extensions and stuff are like, your eyelashes are just really thin. And there's just not very many of them. Anyway, point is, apparently, sometimes we're just not meant for some things. But it's okay. Like I said, we're all different. We all have different body shapes and sizes and heights, and we're all going to look different. And I just kind of wanted to share the following message with the world since I was pretty young. And my assessment, I guess, is that this came from when I was really young and hated the pressure and still hate the pressure. So let's go ahead and jump in and see. Well, let's talk about this. So what matters most is how you see yourself. So I love this image. I mean, it's just like a small cat, but she sees a lion. I just love it. So it just depends, or like what matters is how you see yourself. So let's, okay, sorry. Okay, so this is just some food for thought. Food for thought. I love this quote. I love all quotes. You'll see a bunch. Okay, so if you're not taking notes currently, you might want to write some of this down if you're a quote person too. Okay, so food for thought. Making positive, long-lasting change doesn't come from being negative and critical of yourself. It comes from a positive relationship with yourself. And that's one of the things that we're trying to develop here in this coaching, in this health coaching program is having a positive relationship with yourself and with food and with your body and all those kind of things. So if you're one of those people who in the past have been very negative and very critical of yourself, notice how that didn't work very well, okay? So our focus in this program is having a positive relationship with yourself. Okay, so your first step of this, and there will be three, is to accept your body. Okay, I loved how I learned it in health coaching school. Her example was if you want to give somebody $1 out of your pocket, you have to have $1. You cannot give away or lose something that you don't own. And then she went to talk about how we need to own our stuff, own every part of you, accept it, love it, accept your shape, your height, parts of your body that you normally wouldn't approve of. You need to, in your heart, accept those things so that you can then later lose them, because you can't lose what you don't own. Okay, so how are you going to do this? So reframing is an awesome tool, and we will do it a lot. So this example is that we need to have gratitude for your body and what it does for you. So for example, I like this other person's example better than mine. I've shared mine with people before and I always feel weird about it. Um, so this one lady just felt like her hips were too wide, too big, right? And so she always hated her hips. But when we reframed and said, okay, think about what's a positive thing that your hips do for you. And she's like, well, they carried my baby. Your baby kind of sits there in between your hips. They carried my baby. She said that people like the shape of her hips. Men like curves, right? She had a very curvy body. So she's like, I know, like men like the curves, and it's good for babies. I mean, they're sturdy. They functioned well. They held her her femurs into their sockets. And anyway, so I was like, yeah, so you have a lot to be grateful for. Let's focus on that every day, is having gratitude for those parts of your body that function, that you have, you know, and that do good for you. It's just that you don't see it. You focus on the negative, right? We tend to focus on the negative, which is actually part of it's how we're made. So evolutionarily speaking, we wanted to kind of focus on the bad. Let's go back to caveman days. That's my favorite. Back to caveman days, we wanted to focus on the negative because that helped us survive. But we don't have lions chasing us, and we don't have all the same kind of problems in our day, right? So we tend to focus on all these other bad things, the bad news, the negative, any other bad thing you can think of, right? That's what we tend to focus on. But we don't need to, okay? So we're going to reframe. So pick a part of your body. You're going to write, if you haven't already, write it down. The body part, it could be your stomach, I don't know, your hair, your neck, your arms, whatever, that you would normally be like, ugh, gross, or that's disgusting, or Michelin man, like whatever it is that you normally would say about that part, I want you to totally reframe and have gratitude and write down some good things about it, okay? So pause the video to do that, and then come on back. Okay, so continuing with acceptance, just some quotes and good FYI, I guess, is that you are so much more than just a body, okay? There is way too much focus on the body, and I didn't super include this in here, but there's like body negativity, body positivity, and then something that I find kind of new. I've known about it for a while, but people don't talk about it a lot, I don't think, is body neutrality, okay? Can't we just let our bodies exist? Why does it always have to be something about our bodies, right? People are posting it all the time about, this or that, in a good way, in a bad way. It doesn't matter. Either way, we're still talking about our bodies. Why can't we just let it go? We're so much more than a body. Why can't we talk about what we learned that day, or goals and visions and dreams that we're pursuing? Why? Anything, guys, please. Let's just leave them alone, okay? Because if you can leave it alone, other people can too, okay? But the more we all focus on our bodies, the more we're all gonna focus on our bodies. I hope that makes sense, but you are so much more than just a body, okay? So the next quote, your worth and value come from who you are. Do you value anybody else because of what they look like? Do you look at your friends and say, oh yeah, I chose Sally because she got nice legs. I chose Brie because she got some muscles in her arm. I mean, no, guys, we don't choose people that way. That's not how we value other people, but that's how we sometimes choose the value in ourselves. Choose how much value we have is by what we look like. I challenge you today to stop that. It is not serving you para nada at all. Sorry. So your worth and value come from who you are. Write it down. So how are we going to change this, right? We're trying to appreciate our body. So what I think the deal is that too many people, like the quote, too many people undervalue what they are and overvalue what they are not. Quit doing that, okay? So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to focus on what attributes do you want to develop? Okay, what do you want people to know you for? Or what legacy will you leave behind? Okay, so focusing on this instead of finding your value in your body and what it looks like. Your value is found in who you are. So in what are your attributes and characteristics? What do people kind of know you for? Oh, she's the girl that's always serving. She's the girl that will like drop anything at a second to help me when I need it. She's the girl who left behind this legacy of love and compassion, and she was a great leader. Whatever it be, okay, do you get my point? So focusing instead, so anytime that you're thinking about your body, use these as anchors, okay? So if you have done the beginning of the program, you should know what anchors are. These are your anchors. So you write them up places, you think about them. So when your thoughts go to bad, negative things, or like your same negative self-talk about your body, instead of thinking those things, you gotta say, oh, no, but wait, that's not where my value is. My value is that I am a compassionate service person. I don't know. You get my point. So these are some focus points. Write them down. Write down the question, Or just the answer. What attributes do I want to develop? Well, I want to have more integrity. I want to be patient. I want to have compassion. I want to serve more willingly. Stuff like that, okay? So answer these questions, write it down, pause the video to do that, okay? Okay, so this is step number 2. You are in control of how you feel, okay? Of your thoughts and of your focus. So what are you focused on? Are you focused on what you lack, what you cannot control, and a fearful future? Or are your thoughts focused on what you do have, the gratitude, the good, the positive things? Are you focused on what you can control and having a bright future? So let's look at, so when I say like, what are you focused on? What I mean is when your thoughts wander, okay? When you're just sitting there wandering and wondering, what are you thinking about, okay? So you're thinking about, I don't have a flat stomach, or I wish I had her legs. I'm not smart enough. I'm not X enough. I'm not XYZ enough. I can't exercise at home. I can't control this or that, or the future looks grim. I mean, if these are things that your mind wanders to, then what you're going to want to do is reframe. And when it comes there, say, nope, I got to think about all the positive things, which could be, here's some more examples. On the right, my stomach held and grew my babies. Or I'm so grateful I can walk. I can learn anything I put my mind to. I am enough, and you are. I can find ways to make home exercise exciting. That's true. I can control my thoughts, decisions, and personal growth, and the future looks good, okay? These are some ways, I hope that makes sense. So instead of thinking all the negatives, we just reframe and focus our thoughts to the more positive. So now, step 3 is challenge your negative self-talk. And this is a big, big, big one, okay? Big one, can't stress it enough. Okay, so when you have a mean thought in your head that's like, oh, look at those fat rolls, Gina, you're gonna say, you gonna let her talk to you that way? Just kidding. I try to be ethnic sometimes, and I'm not, but yeah, you say that to yourself. You say, I'm not gonna let myself talk to myself that way, okay? Because guys, when you're at war with yourself, everybody loses. Nobody can win that battle. Everybody loses when you're at war with yourself. So no more negative self-talk, okay? Don't let yourself talk to yourself that way. Or when that thought comes to your head, you say, wait, I don't believe that. I believe I can lose weight. I can become the person I want to be. I can achieve my goals and visions. I believe something. And we'll talk about more how to create affirmations. That's kind of what we're doing here. We'll talk about that more in a different lesson, okay? So that will be another trick that will come in handy. And then the last thing I thought is just ask yourself, would you say that to your daughters? Whatever these negative self-talks are that you have in your head, would you say these to your daughter or your friends or your loved ones? I mean, most of us would not say these things to somebody else, yet we're so quick to say it to ourselves. Okay, you need to challenge your negative self-talk, like this girl with her little punches. Challenge it. Now, this slide looks horrible, looks so bad, but I couldn't figure out a better way to do it, but I really wanted to get across the message that if you're somebody who says things like this, walk away, fatty, with this image on the fridge, like if that's the way you motivate yourself, I implore you to stop. It is not helping you, okay? So there's that image versus you are beautiful, putting messages up of positivity, okay? Because a negative mind will never give you a positive life. Not gonna happen, okay? So watch yourself talk. Why should I watch myself talk, you ask? Well, because your thoughts become your words become your actions, and your actions become habits, okay? Some of you, if you saw my super introductory video, it said that I believe that the decisions we make daily create our health. And I think that is so true. We create our health for better or for worse. So if you've created a health that you're not happy with, great news is you can create a better health simply by starting with your thoughts, which become your words, which become your actions, which become your habits. So great news, you can do this. All right, we're gonna get into some quotes because I said I like them. Okay, I love this quote. This is by Russell Nelson. Says the joy we feel has little to do with the circumstances of our lives and everything to do with the focus of our lives. So what are you focused on? Again, it goes back to the slide where we talked about, are we focusing on the things we can't control and the things we don't have? And I mean, are we focusing on the negative, or is our focus on positive things? And if you're not sure, I don't know, I guess just a general, like, I love to tell these people these three things to focus on. And this is kind of a side note, okay? This is kind of a side note, but I wanted to say it since I had this quote up. So one is focusing on like your God or your religion. If you're a religious person, to focus on that, okay? That should be a focus. Two should be personal development, becoming a better person, learning and growing. And man, I remember when I was younger, probably like in my early 20s and like lower, I just didn't know why anybody would want to continue learning after high school and college. Like I was so sick of, I spent way too long in college. Okay, I'd changed my degree several times and just didn't really know what I want to do. Now, funny thing is, I am doing something that involves all of my majors. I studied nursing and psychology, business, and then exercise physiology. And if you kind of put all those together, like that's kind of what a health coach does. We have some psychology. I'm doing my own business. I am into health. I'm just into health. I just thought it was so funny. Like it all came together to be one thing. But anyway, point is, I did not think I would ever want to continue learning. But then when I got to my upper 20s, my brain development finished, which actually they do say that we develop tail to head, so like your spinal cord, the back of your brain, and then into the front of your brain, which the front of your brain is kind of the prefrontal cortex wants to learn and grow and adventure and things like that. So it's funny to me that that part of my brain really must not have developed until I was into my upper 20s, because I thought it'd be so dumb to continue learning after college. But point is, personal growth, so good, okay? And then the third thing is serving others. Life becomes a whole lot easier when we focus a lot less on ourselves. If we can focus on other people, I just think life gets so much easier, okay? So your God or your religion, your personal development, and serving others. Just a random side note, okay? Okay, the pursuit of happiness. We have another quote. Happiness is not given to us in a package that we just open up and consume. Nobody's ever happy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, I put this one up because I feel like the social media world makes us feel like everybody's happy and it's perfect. And even myself, I feel so bad sometimes when I scroll my page, and I just got to make sure, like, I need to put some me and some real in this, because I don't want people to think my life's perfect either. It's certainly not. So we just have to be so careful with social media. So here's my example of that. I posted this picture. Don't say I'll be happy once I am lighter, or once I lose 20 pounds, or once I am having this career. Instead, choose to be happy now, which I think, one, is a very good message in the sense that we need to be happy no matter what phase of life we're in, because it seems that there's always going to be trials no matter what phase you're in. So enjoy where you're at now, choose to be happy now, because I can guarantee you, just because you lose 20 pounds is not going to make you happy, right? There's so many other factors, which is why you're in health coaching, because we look at those other factors. But I just think it's a dangerous precedence to depend our happiness on something, right? We choose our happiness. But anyway, the point of this slide is, it just looks like everything's happy in my life, right? Because I posted this picture of me being happy, and I posted this quote, and I was like, man, I don't want to lead people astray. Everything's not perfect, right? So social media has been said to be just a terrible platform for our mental health, and I super duper believe it. Honestly, if I could change the world, I would probably take away social media, which might hurt a lot of y'all's feelings if you really love it. And I love it for sharing and inspiring. I mean, like, it's good for some things, but many of us don't know how to use it. And when we're depressed, that's where we go, which makes us more depressed. It's just, I don't like it. But if you have any of those issues with like depression, anxiety, feeling like, fear of missing out, or feeling like everybody else's life is perfect and yours is not, I'm gonna go ahead and say stay away from social media, or at least limit yourself a lot. Okay, some uplifting words to live by. Now, these are just quotes, okay? we're going to go back to our 3 steps and talk about how you're going to incorporate them. But if you're a quote person like me, I'm just going to run through these real quick. You can like write them down. You can use some of these as your anchors. So remember I said we are going to, I don't know why Post-its on the fridge is like always my first thing, because it's got to be somewhere where you're going to see it daily. Your mirror is a good place, your car, wherever you're going to see it, right? But these could be a good idea for that. So I'll go ahead and read them. So be an uplifting and positive influence in the life of others. I love teaching leadership, even to people who aren't necessarily in a leadership position. So like the people that at my business that we own. It's a pet crematorium, in case any of you don't know. But anyway, I teach them all these leadership things, and I'm like, you guys, even though you don't have a title, everybody has an influence on everybody, right? For better or for worse, everyone's got an influence. So be that uplifting, positive influence in the life of others. Second is happiness is in your hands, not in events or circumstances or misfortune or fortune or misfortune. Third, you can never build your happiness on someone else's unhappiness. Yep. Avoid animosity, contention, coveting, and anger in your life. That's why we avoid social media, because coveting. And then work at it consistently. Consistency is the thing here. Everything we do in health coaching, I don't feel like we're asking anything big or crazy or impossible to do. It's all possible. You just have to be consistent. Okay, words to live by. Okay, so now we're to our take action. Okay, so this is what we've learned. Our three action steps should be. So acceptance. All right, this is how you have good body image, or maybe we can just say like neutral, like I'm okay with myself body image. Acceptance. So every day you're going to say or write or both your gratitudes about your body, and they can be different each day. It can be the same thing. I mean, I guess it depends on how many things you want to do, but daily. So every day for 7 days minimum, you do this, okay? Acceptance. 2 is focus. Focus on what you have, what you can control, and a bright future. So this is where you're going to focus on when your mind is wandering. Where is it wandering to? Okay, you remember I said you can do these, what you have, what you can control, or a bright future. You can focus on those 3 that I mentioned in this slide about like your religion, focusing on personal development, or focusing on others. Okay, so any of those, like 6 things. Okay, so it's a lot, but write them down, anchor them, put them somewhere. Have a song that you can put on. I have a song that totally pumps me up. Okay, it reminds me of my vision and my goals and my dreams, and I just put it on and I get pumped, and it just takes me back. Okay, so that's one of the anchors that I really like. Okay, and then 3rd is challenge your negative self-talk. Do not let yourself talk mean to yourself. Okay, these are your challenges and action items for the week. So you know what to do. Follow me with all of your ahas and insights, action items, and all that. Okay, I think we're done. Thanks so much for joining, and good luck.